We're here at another stop in our tour of the heritage sites in the central plains of Trinidad. To my right is the yoga center and to my left is the Hanuman Murti. So let's find out a little bit more about this particular beautiful, fantastic heritage site. Yvette, tell us a little bit about the Murti.
Well, this site is the brainchild of an Indian Swami, Sri Ganapati Salchichi Gandanananda Swamiji. He got an inspiration and was inspired to build a Hanuman Murti here in Trinidad. He brought with him over 200 artisans from India, and they camped out here. They worked day and night. They ate, slept, worked until both projects were complete, which is the Hanuman Murti and the Dattatreya Yoga Center on your right. Now, the Hanuman Murti is the tallest Murti of its kind in this part of the Western Hemisphere. It's over 85 feet tall. And Hanuman is the deity that represents courage and fortitude and justice and so on. If you notice, he has his mace, and the mace is the sign of justice. The land was donated by a Trinidadian lawyer who generously donated the land. The architecture of the Dattatreya Yoga Center is typical of that of southern India. And as you can see, it's absolutely beautiful, very, very intricate work. Those artisans worked by hand, all the little intricate motifs and so on. And it's really, really, really a sight to come to. And the Swami, Swamiji, Salchi Gandanananda Swamiji, he has, if you notice, if we go to the front of the large Murti, the 85-foot tall Murti, you will see some dried coconuts. And the dried coconut represents the various stages of our lives. Because you know, when the coconut is young, we drink the water, and then later on you get a little bit of jelly, which is soft, and then the jelly gets a little harder. So you start off as a baby, and then you grow up, and then you become an adolescent, and later on you become a mature person, and the copra gets harder, and then later on you go into your winter years where the copra now turns into you can make oil or butter, and then the outside, the fiber is used for mats and rugs and stuffing cushions and so on. So it represents our lives, that in every sector of our lives there is an important juncture. And we all have to give at certain times of our lives. And where people tend to discard the elderly are very knowledgeable and full of wisdom, and they can impart that knowledge onto the younger ones. So what happens is devotees come and they put their coconut and they ask the Hanuman for a wish, and they leave the coconut a couple of weeks, and then they come back and take the coconut away, and Hanuman will either grant their wish or talk to them about a way to solve their problems.
So Yvette, I'm seeing an image of someone a little way off the Hanuman Murti. Who's this?
He is Sri Ganapati Salchi Gandanananda Swamiji. This entire project here was his brainchild. This was his inspiration. He was guided to come here and put up the Hanuman Murti.
Okay. When you say to come here?
Internet. Well, he was from India.
Okay. Interesting. And we're standing by a miniature version of the Murti?
Miniature version of the Hanuman Murti.
Are you aware if this was here before, or if this was built?
No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, because I started visiting here when the large Murti went up. I didn't come here before. So I'm not sure if this was here before or if this was put up alongside the large Murti.
Now tell me something. For persons wanting to visit this site, what do you do?
It's open to everybody. If you need to go inside of the yoga Dattatreya, you must abstain from meat on that day, and be prepared to take your shoes off. But that's when it's open. Right now it's closed, and it's normally open to the public, and sometimes we have someone on site, a caretaker or so, who might show you around.
What about the temple itself?
The Hanuman, you can go inside also. You can walk all the way around it, but then you have to have permission to go in. And of course, you take your shoes off
before going in.
Yes. And what is very interesting too is the Ramguli patterns before the entrance to all important places. Like the Hindus, if they have a special function at home and they have invited guests, usually you make a Ramguli with colored rice or flowers or colored sand or just paint. It's really interesting.
As we continue on our journey, I'm standing in front of the Indian Caribbean Museum of Trinidad and Tobago with curator of the museum, Mr. Jokwan, who'd give us a brief as to the history of the museum and a little bit of information as to how you can come and have a visit of this Indian Caribbean Museum. Thank you so much for joining us on Real Life with Nicole. Love your country.
You are welcome. Now, the Indian Caribbean Museum, incidentally, is the brainchild of Mr. Satnarayan Maharaj, Secretary General of the Mahasabha. And we were opened here on the 7th of May 2006. So we are now 8 years in existence, and up to this point in time we have already have close to 60,000 visitors passing through here. Our visitors range from kindergarten school, primary school, secondary school, and even tertiary education schools from Trinidad and other islands of the Caribbean, United States of America, and things like that. All right. At this institution, we have tried to capture and highlight the experiences of the East Indian from the time of their arrival, way back in the year 1845, up to the present day. Inside the building, we have quite a number of old pictures, some of which are over 100 years old. We have other items that the Indians will improvise for their own use at home. We have musical instruments, we have traditional clothing, we have immigration documents, books on indentureship. We have an art gallery by local East Indian artists, as well as a kitchen area where you can see the earthen chulha that the Indian women would cook their foods in. We also have in stock religious books. We have a copy of the Hindu text called the Ramayana, which is about 110 years old. And we have a very old copy of the Quran, which has been estimated to be about 150 years old. What has been happening here too is that we have visitors, I said, from all over the world coming here. We have people from Australia, people from South Africa. We have had people from Libya coming here. We have had people from Taiwan, China, Japan. Recently, I've had over 170 nationals from India who are resident in the United States of America. They are here on a conference and they took some time off to come and visit not only the Indian Museum here, but the Dattatreya Yoga Center, where you have the 80-foot Hanuman statue, as well as the temple in the sea.
How does one go about visiting the museum? Can you just come down and visit?
Now, it would be appropriate if you are coming in a group to call us beforehand, because we will not like several groups to merge here at any one point in time. It creates a little chaos. What has happened through the OSH requirement, they have asked us not to exceed more than 50 visitors at any one point in time. If by chance a group with more than 50 should come, let us say 75 or 80, we suggest to the organizers that they split the group in two. So while a part might go down to the temple in the sea, a part remains here. And so we work and liaise with them, and as soon as they are finished here, we call the group down there and they exchange. So we try to ensure that we have the required amount in the museum at all point in time.
So you work in collaboration with the team at the temple by the sea.
So when I say the team, not the owners or the directors there, but the group.
The group, right. So that someone coming down to do this visit, it could be a compiled tour. So you tour of the museum and then you go and tour the temple of the sea.
What we do is we communicate by telephone. Okay, we take at least 45 minutes to go through here. And that team down there will have is a big open place. When they are finished here, we call them and we indicate to them we are prepared now to accept that group up here. So when they leave to come here, this group goes on.
Someone get in contact with you?
Okay, we have our telephone contact. Our number is 673-7007. All right, that is our landline. I have my mobile number 7562734, and we have an email address that we have recently established that is not fully being utilized as yet. Very shortly we'll have that, and we are working on our website also.
Okay.
All right. So far this is what is taking place.
So how many persons would you say have already passed through this Indian Caribbean Museum?
My last count, what I reported to the director, that is at the end of December, was 52,000 and something. Since then until now, another 4,000 have passed in. So this is why I told you earlier that close to 60,000 people would have passed through here. All right. It's interesting to note that most of our visitors would be school children, because they come in groups, 50, 60 and things like that. All right. Individual families will come on weekends and on public holidays, and we cater for them too. In such a case, they don't have to call to make any arrangement, because most will happen is that a family of 5 or 6 will come, and if we have 3 or 4 families like that at any one point in time, it does not make much of a difference. Okay, so we have visitors who we might describe as walk-in visitors, so to speak. All right.
What would you say to persons looking at this program now to encourage them to come on and have a look at what you have to offer?
I would appeal to them and to ask them to come and see history come alive, because you are actually seeing the things that our ancestors would have used. In fact, there are items here that are still being used today in certain areas in the country. Let us take, for example, that grinding stone that we call the Lohan seal to grind the masala and so on. People in Trinidad, there are areas where they still use it. And in many homes too, where you have your own blender and so on, you still have a bit of that Lohan seal, because they will tell you, if I don't season my food with homegrown masala, apparently it doesn't taste as good. They will tell you that. You want to have a good curry duck, you grind your masala at home, a curry chicken or something, alright? While they will use the curry powder that comes in the grocery shelves, they will also grind it further with their own garlic and their pepper and things like that to make it look, taste and smell, that aroma that comes out from it. Okay, it makes the mouth water. So the homegrown masala, the homegrown seal and loha, people still have it at their homes. In fact, I have one at home still.
Well, that's an excellent reason to come on down and have a visit. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Dear.
Thank you very much.
Right.
So come and see history come alive at the Indian Caribbean Museum of Trinidad and Tobago. This is Real Life with Nicole, the Love Your Country series. Stay with us.